Hello everyone, I am MrGamingGuitarist, and I notice I'm not in the middle of the frame here, so let me try moving over. Okay, fuck this shit. Anyways, you know what, but you know what is good? What was great? The Legends of Tomorrow mid-season finale, okay, so this is just like the Flash episode, where I thought the episode was pretty solid, and then something happened in the middle of it that just moved up the rating immediately, that made the episode 2 times better, and so let's get into it. So of course, like I always say in my TV reviews, this is a full spoilers ahead. Spoiler warning if you have not seen tonight's episode of Legends of Tomorrow, which was season 2, episode 8. This one was called The Chicago Way. If you haven't not seen this episode, then do not watch this review unless you don't care about spoilers. So anyways, let's let's talk about what I liked and what I didn't like. So here we go. So first off, I really enjoyed seeing the Chicago. I enjoyed seeing, finally, we're starting to get our Legion of Doom is coming together, and we finally get to see Malcolm Merlyn back fully in these shows. I mean, we saw him briefly in the 100th episode of Arrow, but this was his real return, and it's interesting because it makes me wonder, how exactly did Malcolm end up working with Eobard Thawne and Damien Dark? How did he meet them? How did he become aware of time traveling and all this stuff? We don't know yet, but it was really nice to see him interacting with Dark and Thawne, because, you know, it reminds me just a tiny bit, even though it's not exactly the same. It reminded me of, you know, seeing the Legion of Doom from Super Friends, even though they weren't part of the Legion of Doom. The fact that we're starting to see it come together, that's exciting. And the other part that I really enjoyed was seeing the 20s and seeing the Chicago setting. Now, we're not talking yet about the parts that I didn't like, but I will say that we didn't really get to spend as much time in Chicago. We didn't get to see that much of the Roaring Twenties as much as I would have hoped. But at least we got to see a speakeasy, and we got to see Al Capone and Elliot Ness. And it was kind of weird for me because a few months ago I was watching this AMC, the documentary series they have called Making of the Mob, where season 1 from last year was about the New York mob, and this year was about the Chicago mob. So it's like the story of Al Capone is still very fresh in my head. So seeing different actors playing Al Capone and Elliot Ness, it really threw me off for a tiny bit, but you know, I adjusted to it. And so I really enjoyed seeing this interpretation of it. I thought it was really funny seeing Ray and what the hell is this? What the hell is Steele's name? I'm blanking completely. Nate, yeah, I really like seeing Ray and Nate's friendship evolve. How they wanted to spar in the cargo bay, and yet Sarah had to go down there twice to say, "Hey, stop that shit." And I really liked their back and forth saying, "Oh, well, whose idea are we going to go with? Oh no, we're not going to go with your idea. Oh, we're going to go with my idea." And especially at the end when they were talking to Ness and we're saying, "Well, some idiot imposter," and he was like talking shit about Ray. Oh, it was great fun to watch. Now, what exactly wasn't great fun, but more like really great performances and great drama, was I really liked seeing the relationship. I mean, I really liked seeing the scenes between Martin and Sarah this episode when they were both tied up by and Malcolm was offering Sarah that deal. How he said, "I will take you back and take you back to time travel so that all those, and give you 9 years of your life back, where I will get, where all those, the pain, all of the memories, the League of Assassins, and seeing Laurel die, and going on, having the Queen's Gambit explode. He said, or the Queen's Gambit getting shipwrecked, and dealing with Ivo and Deathstroke. Great flashbacks to season 2 of Arrow. He said, I can get that all away from you so that you can just stay happy. And then she just, I really like when she just says, I'm happy, right? Or I don't know if this is exactly what she said, because I've got a terrible memory, but she said, I'm happy right where I am. And she said, a normal life isn't for me. And I liked how Martin was telling her about his daughter, and he said, she says, but you told me not to kill Dark because it would so that it would save Laurel, and yet here you are doing the exact opposite. And they really started to grow and understand each other more, and I thought it was great, because I don't know how many times we've ever gotten to see that much interaction between Sarah and Martin, so it was nice to see. But I can't be the only one that started to be a bit scared when Thawne was taking Martin and he started torturing him. But the part that I did not see coming was I don't know if it's the exact same trick he used back in season 1 when he was able to take over, when he took over the real Harrison Wells' body, but apparently he's able to disguise himself as Martin Stein without having to completely take over the real person that he's trying to disguise himself as. I did not see that coming at all. And the fights going on between him and that easily for me the best part of the episode, other than the Martin and Sarah stuff, was seeing the Reverse Flash fighting everyone on the ship. That was great. And I also really enjoyed the fight between Malcolm and Sarah, because I don't think have they ever fought each other before? I don't know, but her being able to at least act out some revenge was great. But now it makes me think, and of course spoilers for the mid-season finale of Arrow if you haven't seen it, but I'm wondering, when is she going to find out that Laurel's still alive? Because I can imagine that's going to be quite a big deal. So that has to be something that I can't wait to see how exactly they're going to unfold that. But so she gave up the amulet and gave it up to I'm terrible today. I can't even think. She gave up the amulet to Malcolm. My old brain is failing me. She gave up the amulet to Malcolm, and so overall I really enjoyed this episode. But the one part, now don't get me wrong, it was nice to see Captain Cold return, but I guess it's better than just bringing and then just saying he's alive again. Similar to Laurel, where it's like where death is meaningless, where anyone on the show can come back. I guess I can appreciate that they brought Snart. I almost said Stark. That they brought Snart back in a way that he's still inside of Mick's head. Now I'm starting to wonder, is this hallucination something that Gideon can fix? Because they said Gideon can fix brain damage. Is this something that's wrong with Mick completely? Or is this something Gideon can fix? We don't know. Is he going to choose to let Gideon fix this so that he can't see Leonard in his head anymore? But I think it's kind of weird how he tells how this imaginary figment in Mick's head keeps saying, being a hero is bad. You have to start thinking more and more like a criminal. And, I hope being good, I hope that following orders, being a team player is worth it, blah, blah, blah. When he was the one that felt, whereas when he was still alive, he felt more like the one that wanted to be the hero, and Mick was pushing against it, and he didn't grow into that role more until this second season began. So I'm kind of puzzled why this figment in, why this imaginary snart in Mick's head wanted him is like going the anti-hero route. I don't know, maybe that's the way that he wants to remember Snart. I'm still not entirely sure how that's going to work. I'm sure this is going to grow on me, but hey, I guess if this is the only way that that Snart can be back on the show, I guess I'm okay with it. Better than him not being there at all. And yeah, so it looks like maybe they're going to start a relationship between Mick and Amaya, which I guess I'm okay with it, because at first I remember when they were saving Obsidian at the end, after he got shot and Gideon patched him up, and he said the next time love comes, an opportunity for love comes by, don't let it pass away or something. And we just saw Nate there, and a lot of people thought that meant that maybe Nate and her would be in a relationship, but maybe it's her and Mick, which is definitely the less predictable route, and I would be much more okay with Mick and Amaya being in a relationship, because I think that's going to be a fucking hilarious dynamic rather than Amaya and Nate. But anyways, oh yeah, of course we have to mention this thing. So Rip Hunter is still alive, and he's in 1967 using an American accent, but I think it's funny how he's trying to turn the plot of Legends of Tomorrow and him running away from the Time Hunters into a movie. I think that's just hilarious. And so he apparently tries to become a famous movie director, or maybe he started a new identity or something. But so it makes me wonder, how exactly has he been able to hide from not the Time Masters, but how has he been able to live through this? How did that whole thing work, where at the end of the first episode he sent everyone back in time, to the different time locations? I remember like Sarah was in Salem, Ray was in the prehistoric ages, and Jax and Stein were in medieval England. But anyways, I'm curious to see how this will pan out. I mean, maybe they'll get Rip back. But am I the only one that kind of wishes that Rip isn't the captain? Because I'm kind of really liking Sarah as the captain of the ship. And to be honest, Rip wasn't... Rip fucked up a lot as a captain, and Sarah has been fucking up a lot less than Rip has so far. We'll have to see how this plays out, and it's going to be interesting because when the show returns, it's going to be on Tuesdays now instead of Thursdays. I feel very conflicted about that, because if the show is on Tuesdays now, is that going to be better or worse? Because I like the idea of having one DC show every day, but Monday through Thursday. So instead it'll just be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Or maybe they think that Legends will get a lot more viewers because it will be on directly after The Flash, and so the people that are watching The Flash will want to stick around. And it's going to be tough for me, of course, first world white privilege problems, but now that means I have to make 2 reviews in one day. So it's like the instant I'm done reviewing The Flash, I have to miss like 15 minutes of Legends when it comes back. But anyways, that's all stuff that I'll figure out later that isn't important to you, the viewer. But anyways, I really enjoyed this episode of Legends of Tomorrow. This was a great mid-season finale. I give it a 9 out of 10. And so yeah. So, and the part that I didn't like about Captain Cold being only in Mick's head, that's more of a nitpick rather than a dislike. But anyways, overall, great episode. So, and looks like we have to wait a very long time until January 24th for Legends to be back. So I'll see you then when all the shows are back. So anyways, I'm Mr. Gaming Guitarist. If you're new to the channel, you can subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. And you can also watch me on the N4G TV podcast on the N4G TV YouTube channel. And you can support my channel on Patreon. I would appreciate it. So those are those are my plugs. And I will see you on my next video. Bye.